be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they know I'm hot.
What's up? What's going on, my good people? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing well. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. Pull up a seat. Hope you enjoyed the content. And before we get into this video, I want to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe. Go ahead and tap that bell while you're at it so you're notified anytime I drop a brand new video, go live, or schedule a premiere. All right, y'all. So today, I'm eating some Chipotle. I'm eating some Chipotle and I'm excited about it. I got a steak burrito, half of a steak burrito, let me say. I have some chips. We got some hot sauce, some salad dressing, queso. I also have half of a chicken bowl off to the side. So these are leftovers from last night. And it was so good that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to run it back today and I'm going to do a story time. So I'm just feeling real good. Let's get to it. First thing I want is some queso. Y'all, I was tearing this queso up last night. Bite for y'all. Let me also say, I don't want y'all to think that I order a burrito and a bowl. This burrito, my mom ordered a steak burrito and she just wanted half of it, so she didn't want the rest of it. She asked me if I wanted it and I was like, we'll see. But then when I decided to do a video, I'm like, yeah, I need some more food. So the rest of my bowl is in here. I want a little dressing and a little hot sauce. And I'm gonna give y'all that bite. Cause y'all deserve this bite. Come on, Rhonda. I don't want that to fall. I really want to have come on. Some rice fell. What did I have in my bowl? I had white rice, black beans, the mild salsa, corn, cheese, sour cream, and was that it? I think that was everything I had. I think that was it. She gave me a lot of corn. Have y'all ever had Chipotle, it didn't taste good? I was thinking about that when I was standing in line, when I was ordering my food. For the most part, Chipotle has been pretty consistent. I think one time I ordered some guacamole and it didn't have no seasoning, but it wasn't nasty. It just wasn't as good as it usually is. You know what I'm saying? Oh. Well, my food is usually pretty good from there. Now, baby, them prices is high. I haven't had Chipotle in a minute, but I was like, damn. When we gave me my total, when me and my parents usually order for the three of us, and we get food, chips, and all that stuff, I'm going to say, I don't know. I feel like our order has been like, I don't know, $35 to like $38. That's just a guess. That man said $51 last night. I was like, what? I'm sorry. Huh? What was that? I just couldn't believe it because you know, my gosh. When I move, y'all, we get back to cooking. Y'all gonna see a lot of recipes, home cooked meals, all that. Cause like, you know, eating out, like, man, it's a lot. I also don't want to make it seem like groceries aren't expensive because it is, but I mean, I could pay what, $120 for groceries and probably eat that for about a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe, depending on what I make. So Let's see about this burrito. This mug was piping hot. I'm sad that the dressing is almost gone. Let me give y'all that first bite. Look good. It is good. That dressing is too good. This is probably all I'm gonna eat today. It is 2 in the afternoon. It's my first meal. If I get hungry later, I might have a snack or like some yogurt or like a little small salad or something. I can't imagine me eating nothing too heavy. And I want to go do this kickboxing video. I'm gonna do this kickboxing video. It's like maybe like 35-40 minutes on Grow with Joe's channel. I'm about to go do a video a little later after I edit this video. I left this queso in the microwave too long. I haven't ordered a Chipotle burrito in a long time. I usually just get the bowls because I'm usually pretty full when I get them. I don't even get a tortilla off to the side. I don't even do that either. But I haven't had a burrito in a minute. This is good. Y'all, I told y'all that I was gonna vlog, like, you know, my moving process. I have been doing a not so good job. So I started a vlog today. I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna play catch up. Y'all haven't missed much, but I do want to make sure I capture the experience. So I've been pretty much vlogging all day. I just want to make sure I'm consistent. Have y'all got the large order of chips from Chipotle? It is so massive. It's huge. I was talking about the price earlier, but I know the price has gone up, but I don't feel like I was cheated. I feel like the dude that gave me the chips, I was watching him while he was like putting the chips in the bag. Y'all, he like put chips to like he filled it all the way up. You know, so I was like, you know, I don't feel like I got cheated. I feel like they gave me a lot of everything. And that's why I'm here doing a video the next day, because they gave us so much food. I feel like they went in. My bowl had a lot of food in it to me. I'm starting to get full. So I saw something online I wanted to share because I was like, dang, that's like really mature and it made me think. So shout out to Boba. So Boba, she had posted this picture of her and her boyfriend, like maybe a day or two before Valentine's Day. And she was just saying like, oh, I'm putting this out before, you know, your timeline is flooded with everybody and their person or whatever. And so I'm reading the caption. She always got dope, like meaningful captions, right? So I'm reading the caption and she's just talking about, you know, expressing her love for her boyfriend and stuff like that. Then in the end, she was like, you know, I also want to like send a shout out to everybody that I've loved or everybody that loved me, you know? And she was just saying how every single one of those experiences were valuable. And I was like, damn, that's really mature to say something like that. And I'm like, it's also a lot of truth in it as well. You know, like no matter how toxic or how, you know, rock bottom a relation may have been or how good it may have been or whatever, there's just always been something valuable in every single relationship, romantic and I think friendship as well. You know, really anybody, any relationship and encounter you've had with people, there's a lesson somewhere in there, I think, you know. Like I can think about the time in my life when I was just avoiding just so many things I didn't want to face. So God kept on sending me these people to like give me this experience over and over and over again till I got it. And it's like I closed that cycle of my life and, you know, was able to get what I needed from that, you know, whatever God was trying to tell me. So I was just like, man, like even my worst relationship that I could think of right now, I feel like this person was just so many things in a negative way, but there was also some things that really came out of it, you know. And I might not have even been the best partner at the time. Let me just say that. I might have been their worst as well. I'm sure I'm somebody's worst, you know. But I was just thinking like even in all of the heaviness of the relationship and the things that were said or done or not done, that I really did see different sides of myself, and I saw parts of myself that I had never seen before. And I was with somebody who was doing things for me that other people had never done before, right? And even though it was a thing that eventually like helped me with my self-worth, the relationship was still shitty. You know what I'm saying? But it still had things that were of value that I took from it that, you know, I saw and experienced for the first time, you know? So her post just like really hit me like, damn, like it doesn't really matter how good or how bad a relationship was. There's value in both of them, you know? And I just think about too, maybe some of us have been in relationships where, you know, you think you want something so bad until you actually experience it. And you're like, this is not for me. Like, oh, I thought outside looking in, this might be something I really enjoy. And you end up hating it, you know, once you experience it. And, you know, it just teaches you a lot about how to be treated, how not to be treated, you know, adjusting your expectations and standards and stuff like that. And, you know, just taking those lessons that just follow us along for the rest of our journey. So I don't know, y'all share something with me about that. Like, you know, when you've just sat and, you know, thought about your relationships and who you were in those relationships and who you were with at the time, do you see the value and the things that, you know, you were supposed to take from that relationship? Do you think that you know, that you can see the value? And maybe some of us still have to realize the things that were of value. Because sometimes it's hard to see the value when all you can think about is the darkness and the heaviness and toxicity of what the relationship was. It might be hard to kind of see the things that, you know, actually helped you for the better. You know, also not being with them is probably for the better as well. But I'm talking about like the things that may have happened while y'all were together. So yeah, let me know. But I'm pretty satisfied. I'm cool. Like I still got more food. So I actually thought I was going to eat all of this. So if I do get hungry, I probably will just eat the rest of this. I got a little bit of burrito and a little corner of this bowl left. That's it. Couple of chips. So if I do get hungry later, I'm going to have that. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into story time. I'm about to move this out the way and I'll be right back with a story time, right? All right, so before I get into story time, two things. The first thing is go ahead and share this out. If you are entertained by this story time at all, please go ahead and share it. So put it on Twitter, Facebook. I don't care where you put it. You can put it in your family chat, cousin chat, anywhere. Just share it with somebody else if you are entertained. And the second thing is please be sure to watch the ads. People always ask, you know, how can I support you? How can I support my favorite content creator? Watching the ads is a huge help. This applies to me and any other creator that you like here on YouTube. So just let the ad play in the background. Go ahead and get a snack. You can put your clothes, you know, from the washing machine into the dryer while the ad is playing, whatever. Just walk away, let it play. And that's a huge help, like I said, for me and any other creator that you support here on YouTube. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So the main character of the story time is Autumn Wilkerson. She's 33 years old. She's single and she is a freelancer. So she knows how to do a bunch of things. She is a creative at heart. She graphic design, copywriting, writing, editing. She just pretty much does it all. And, you know, she's been able to like really take care of herself and really build a life for herself by working with different companies and organizations. She isn't just tied down to just one thing, you know, and she loves it. It gives her a chance to learn new things, travel the world, all that good stuff. Now, at this point, she's 33, but let's take a step back. When Autumn was like mid-20s, getting a little older, turning 26, 27 around the time of her life, her family would just give her a hard time, like really pressing her about settling down. When are you going to be in a relationship? So up until that point in life, like she had just never really had a relationship, and it just wasn't important. And a lot of it was because she was just so into figuring out life and what she wanted and her finances and, what kind of lifestyle she wanted. Where did she want to live? What kind, what city did she want to stay, in the area where she grew up? Did she want to venture off? Did she want to go overseas? Like, she was so wrapped up in herself. And that's not a bad thing. She was just figuring out what she wanted. So she's like, if I'm on this journey of figuring out what I want, I'm not worried about settling down with anybody. Like, just love wasn't a priority, a romantic relationship. And she does pretty good in terms of like friendships and stuff like that. She does well maintaining her, relationships with her siblings and stuff and everything, but she can also be by herself, And like I said, her parents would press her. Her parents were divorced, but she's pretty close to both of them. And they would just press her, like, when are you going to settle down? When are you going to fall in love? When are you going to start sharing your life with somebody? And a big part of Autumn too was just like, why as a woman does my life have to be centered around settling down and being with somebody? Like, I'm in a relationship with my damn self. Like, I'm figuring out what I want to do. And once I feel like I'm satisfied, I'll slow down and make my, I'll become open to dating, So that was always her answer. And she was just very headstrong about that. Like, she didn't allow people to bully her into something that just wasn't important, And she's like, this is my life. It belongs to me. I get one chance. I'm gonna do it my way. So like I said, 25, she was done with college, had tried a couple of different jobs. It just didn't work out. And that's when she really started enhancing her skills, trying to learn different things and ins and outs of, in terms of being creative. She's like, I love to create. I love to get my hands dirty. I love to do all these things. So that's when she, tried to learn graphic design, and she just does everything, y'all, like just a woman of so many trades, So now let's fast forward to Autumn is like 27, 28 years old, and she's really settled into her life. She's doing well for herself financially. She's able to do stuff for her parents. She's able to do stuff for her siblings. She has a nice savings account. She's almost done paying off her student loans. Like, she has a plan for her life, and she's sticking to it and thriving. She's doing really well for herself. So one day she's in the grocery store. She loves to cook. So she's grabbing a couple of things, going to try a new recipe. And while she's in there, she notices this guy. Like, they kind of like end up on like every other aisle that she's on, she kind of sees him, right? And, she's looking up at him. He's looking at her. They're not flirting, but they notice each other, And then at some point, the guy just walks up to her and is like, hey, like, I've seen you on like 4 or 5 aisles. I got a question. And he was struggling with the recipe, and she like, shows him, what to pick up. And she talks to him about how to prepare it. And they're just talking, he has a great sense of humor. He's like making jokes or whatever. And they're just kind of like just shooting the shit, really, at this point. And they find out they have a few different things in common because they're just speaking casually. It's nothing too serious, nothing too heavy. He's not doing too much, and neither is she. And he ends up asking for her phone number. Like, this feels good. Let me, can I get your number? I want to continue to get to know you, and maybe we can see where this goes, And so she's like, yeah. She gives her number without hesitation. And when she gets in the car, she's thinking about it. Like, being in a relationship wasn't a priority, but she felt like that when the time was right, it would just happen and it wouldn't be forced. So that's why she didn't have any hesitation on giving him her number, And the guy's name is Malcolm. And, like, she found him attractive, like, just everything just felt right. And so, she gets in the car, calls her best friend Adrian, and they're talking, and Adrian is cackling and happy because she's like, finally, like, good. I'm glad you gave somebody your number. I'm glad that you met him, met him the way you wanted to meet him. And, we'll see how things go, right? So her and Malcolm, they go out on the first date, and prior to that, they talk on the phone. He's really easy to talk to. And, like, he just feels very familiar and just feel like makes her feel really comfortable. So going out on the first date, like maybe they go on a first date, like maybe a week or two after they meet. But leading up to that first date, like I said, lots of conversation, texting throughout the day. Her sharing some of her projects and some artwork and stuff she picked up, him sharing different recipes he's trying in the kitchen, just all kind of stuff back and forth, but she's really feeling comfortable with him. So they go out on this first date. He plans everything, makes a reservation. By the date, based on the way the date was, everything he planned out, this man definitely listens. And, she's just like, is this what I've been missing out on? Like, is this, what everybody's been talking to me about? And she's like, dang, I'm glad that I'm glad I didn't rush into dating, but I'm glad that I'm here, type of thing, So they're dating, they're hitting, things are going well. They're seeing a lot of each other. She's planning dates, he's planning dates. He's taking her, she's taking him around her friends. It's just things are going well. So things get pretty serious between them. They get into a relationship. They eventually move in together. And he proposes like a year and a half into their relationship. He proposes. He's just like, I know we're young. I know we're in our late 20s, but this is what I want. I've been the kind of guy that has always wanted to settle down. My parents were married and I've wanted that for myself. And I didn't think I'd ever find it. I didn't think I'd find it like this. You're my best friend. Like, he just lays it out on the line, proposes to her. And, she says yes without hesitation. And, she's just really enjoying life. She's on top of the world. She is, everything is going well. Her relationship, her friendships, maintaining her closeness with her parents, even though they're divorced, doing really well in terms of, being a daughter, being a sister, in her career, the places that she's going, traveling, like learning new things, like everything is going good in her life. This is the icing on the cake that she has found her person and the person that she wants to do this with, And because she didn't think about relationships, like she never really thought about marriage either, but this feels too good to say no. So she says yes, and they pick out a date. They're going to get married in like a year, because it's like, why be married? I mean, why be engaged for 3 years, five years? Why? Like, we love each other. We're enjoying life. Let's get a date on the calendar. So they pick out a date. They picked out colors. Like, it's just, this is easy. This feels right. I'm glad that we met each other. Like, we were made for each other type thing. So like 3 months into their engagement, Malcolm starts to like realize that like something is going on with him. He's a teacher. He stands up a lot, and he's just really in tune with his body, because he's like really into like wellness and fitness and stuff like that. He watches his diet, that kind of person. So he's always in tune with his body, And so when there's pain, he's like, he notices it right away. And he's like, something might be wrong. So he notices that he's winded. He's having this pain in his abdominal area. And, he tells Autumn about it, and, they're talking about it. And he doesn't let a long time go by before he goes to see his primary care doctor. So, he goes and takes a urine test, blood test. They do all these different things. And, the doctor sits him down and tells him, he has like this rare condition. And unfortunately, he only has like 6 months to live. And so, of course, they're both devastated by this news. They get a second opinion. And the second opinion comes back the same as well. And this is a lot to take in, because it's like, okay, they figured that maybe something was up. Maybe he was going to have surgery, but like surgery is not an option. There's really nothing the doctors can do, other than make him comfortable for him to live the last 6 months of his life, and they're like 6 months is probably pushing it. And so for all of this, Autumn really starts to think like, why me? How? Like, God, why would you do this? I really didn't believe in prioritizing relationships. I finally do. And this is how you treat me. This is what I get. I find the man of my dreams, the person I can do life with, the person that I trust and makes me laugh and, that I feel safe with. And now you're going to take this person from me. So she's like questioning her faith, but like trying to be by his side. She clears her calendar. She steps away from all of her projects, and she's just in his corner, doing whatever it is that he needs from her. She's really stepping up and being a partner, even though this is really like just really tearing her apart inside, So she tries her best to keep it together in front of Malcolm, but, she cries, she cries at night to Adrian. Her best friend is in her corner. Her family is in her corner, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And, the doctor says 6 months was stretching it or pushing it, and he dies in like 30 days, right? He's gone. And so she's watching this man deteriorate in front of her, losing weight. His eyes are all sunken in and dark. And you just see this person just change rapidly, and it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And now you got to make funeral arrangements and make phone calls and, people asking you what his final wishes and stuff was. And it's just too much. It's too much. It's heavy. And this was supposed to be her husband. And now she has to bury him and, pick up the pieces. And, when somebody passes away, like everybody is around, everybody is willing to help. But, people go back to their lives. They have to continue, working and paying bills and taking care of their children and traveling and doing the things that they have to do for themselves. Right. So, she is just overwhelmed with just thoughts. You know, she's even consumed with like, you know, should they have changed their diet? You know, should they have done this? Should he have worked in a different school district? Like, she's just dissected a whole bunch of stuff that she had no control over. You know what I'm saying? And she's really consumed with thoughts of his parents. So his parents were married, still together, and he was their only child. So she's just like thinking like, damn, like why would God do something like this? Like, you take away the man that I love. You take away, like, these parents shouldn't have had to bury their child. Like, this is just like, why would God do something like this? Why would you torture people to experience something like this? Like, yeah, we all leave at some point, but why does it have to be like this? So, like I said, you know, things settle down, weeks go by, people are still calling, but the calls slow down. Adrian's still in her corner. You know, Adrian is solid. They've been friends since the elementary school. And, you know, she, even to a point, was almost like living with Autumn for a little bit, you know, because it was hard for Autumn to be in, you know, the place that her and Malcolm shared, the place that was home. So Adrian, you know, lived there for a little bit, damn near lived there, was cooking, cleaning, you know, just being a listening ear, you know, just making sure things were getting done, bills getting paid, grocery shopping, everything, just, you know, holding things together for her best friend the best way that she could, you know. And it was just the heaviness and the grief, you know what I'm saying, like, of it all. And then she, you know, she's kind of like coming to, and she's just thinking like things were okay still financially, because she was doing really well for herself creatively, with all the projects she took on. And she was just sitting there thinking like, damn, I'm glad that I built this kind of life for myself, because if I had a regular job, I would have been forced to go back to work, what, a week or two after, you know, the man I was supposed to spend my life with died. I'm supposed to go back to work a week or two after my fiance died. Like, she just was thinking like, damn, in all of this, I'm really glad that I have the time to just sit and grieve and like pick up the pieces to my life. You know what I'm saying? So she is grateful for that. She's going through pictures, going through videos on her phone, grateful that she got a chance to experience somebody like Malcolm, that she really understood that a love like that existed, you know? So she's trying to rely on gratitude to like help her lift her spirits and get through this. So like I said, weeks have gone by, months have gone by, and she's getting back into the rhythm of like creating again, you know, creating and drawing and taking pictures and stuff like that. You know, Adrian sees this, you know, that she's coming alive. She seems lively. Her appetite has changed, like just so many things. So Autumn is like, you know, she's coming around. And so now let's fast forward to like, okay, let's say, so now she's like 32, 33 years old. So years have gone by since Malcolm has passed away. And, you know, life goes on when people pass away. It does. You know, it may be really, really hard, but life does go on. You know, you got to find a way to kind of push through. And that's exactly what she did. She relied on herself, her friends, her family, her love for creating to get her through. So now she's in a really solid place. Her mental health is on point. She's still freelancing, but she's working on different projects at this time of her life. And, you know, now Adrian is saying like, so what's up? I mean, do you feel like you want to get back out there? You know, if you want me to hook you up with somebody, I can go find somebody for you. And she's like, I mean, I'm not even thinking about all that. Like, I'm just so wrapped up in my work. And she's like, well, that's the problem. Like, you too wrapped up in your work can't hold you at night. So I think you should take a step back and consider dating. Like, why not? Like, you know, you put in so much work to deal with, you know, the loss of Malcolm. And I know he's still with you, but I also know that Malcolm would want you to be with somebody else. He would not want you to have your life on hold and, you know, not really put yourself out there. Like, come on. And she's like, dating, like, I met him by chance. I wasn't even looking to date when I met Malcolm. And she's like, why don't you try dating apps? Just give it a try. She's like, hell no, I'm not getting on dating apps. I've heard nothing but, you know, horror stories. Like, nothing good comes out of that. And she's like, look, just give it a try. You've been out of the game for a little while. You was never really in the game to begin with, but you haven't dated in a long time. And I think that a dating app or a few dating apps is a good way to reintroduce yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, see what people are talking about. What are they looking for? What do they want? Like, you just never know. You know, you're a good person that's on an app. There might be another good person buried somewhere on the app too. So just do it. Just try to get your feet wet. Like I said, to get you back into the rhythm of like talking to other people, you know, romantically. And so after all of this convincing and trying and talking, she decides to download a couple of apps. She sets up her profiles. Adrian helps her pick out her pictures, helps her write her profile, you know, what she's looking for, answering all these questions. And like, this is making Autumn very anxious, you know, doing all of this, you know, because she's just thinking like about the love. The only love she's ever experienced has been the love for Malcolm. And she's like, is there anybody else in the world that can even give that kind of love? I don't want anything less than that. I'm not doing less than that. And she's just, this really sparks a lot of feelings inside of her. So she gets on the app, and as she's scrolling through, the more she scrolls through and matches with people and starts to talk, she finds herself calming down and like getting into that rhythm of just like talking, like, oh, okay, he's cute, or wow, like I didn't even know that was a career, and wow, like she's impressed by people, disappointed by others. She's getting some good laughs, so it's entertaining, but she's also kind of seeing some guys that are kind of cool, like they're cool, kind of having a little casual conversation. And she ends up meeting this guy named Isaac, and Isaac, something about him, like in his eyes, remind her of Malcolm. So that's why she was kind of drawn to him. But then just how he presents himself and how he talks kind of reminds her of Malcolm too. So she's like, maybe this is not a good idea. And Adrian is like, no. Continue talking to this man. Like, continue talking to him. See what's up. See what's going on. Like, just do it. Like, this doesn't have to be anything serious. It doesn't have to go anywhere. But trust me, just keep on talking. So they continue to talk for a little while. He has a great sense of humor. And they just really kind of hit it off. They exchange numbers and they talk on the phone. Conversation is great. He asks some very meaningful questions. He's a good listener. She loves his voice, his laughter. She likes I don't know. They just have a really good banter with each other. They like a lot of the same shows. They're just a lot of things in common. Things that he feels familiar just like Malcolm did at one point. So she's like, damn, like, how is it that I, can come across another man that I feel this way about? Like, I didn't think that was possible. Malcolm felt like once in a lifetime. Like, I didn't think I could meet a man, that would even come close to Malcolm, and she's not trying to recreate the love she had for him, but she's just like, this feels good. This feels easy, just like it did with Malcolm. So they continue to talk. They go out on a date. The date is great. They go for a walk afterwards, and they're holding hands, and he's a gentleman, and he's pleasant, and he's gentle, and she feels safe with him. Just all of these different things. She's like, damn, like she feels fireworks with him, and those same fireworks when they kiss and all of that. So everything is on point with Isaac. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like, okay, maybe this could be something, and she thanks Adrian, like, thank you for getting me, out of my head about this whole dating thing. 'Cause you're right. At some point, I was going to have to move forward and really get back out there. And I'm glad that I did. I'm glad you talked me into it. So, she's just telling her, like, Adrian is in her corner rooting for her. Like, you deserve this. Like, you deserve someone to, build a life with and be in love with and, do nice things for you. You do nice things for them. Like, just don't talk yourself out of this. Just keep on going with the flow. And she does just that. So her and Isaac are just hitting it off. They're hitting it off. Things are great. Things are getting pretty serious. It's been like 6 or 7 months, and she just enjoys him. They spend a lot of time together. She's at his apartment, he's at her apartment. Like, they go to each other's, personal spaces. They share ideas. They talk about finances. They talk about everything. Like, this feels good. This feels right. And, just again, going with the flow. So 6 or 7 months they've been together. One thing they haven't done is slept together. And, they haven't slept together because Autumn is really struggling being intimate with somebody else. She has not slept with anybody since Malcolm. And, she was straight up with Isaac about, the only relationship she's ever had. And just that she hasn't been with anybody. She's having a hard time with that. And he's not pressuring her. He's being very patient. And he also, is very vulnerable about his experiences, that he hasn't been with a lot of women. He's like, you haven't been with a lot of men. I haven't been with a lot of women. And for, a lot of women, that's a red flag. That me as a 35-year-old man saying I haven't been with a lot of women walk away from me or just see that as too much of a red flag to take me serious. So I've never really been in a relationship. So you've only been in one relationship, and I've never had a serious relationship at 35 years old. So they kind of have that understanding of, like, a relationship is great. Yeah, building your life and sharing your life with somebody is great, but it just hasn't been their priority. You know what I'm saying? So they have that common understanding with each other, Over the course of their relationship, Autumn doesn't see Isaac around his people like that. Like, she sees him on the phone with his family, but they live in a different state. You know, like she knows that he has a relationship with his family, but she hasn't met them. And maybe at some point she will, you know, as their relationship continues and they get closer and stuff like that. And as far as friends, he doesn't have a whole bunch of friends. He has 2 close friends, and she feels like that she's had a chance to see other sides of him. Like he feels comfortable and she sees other aspects of him when they do spend time with his friends. So his life was a little different than hers because she has a bunch of friends. She has her best friend Adrian, her siblings, you know, this is her home state. So it's a little different because her family is there and his isn't. So that's kind of the dynamic of like their personal lives, you know. And for her, him only having 2 friends is not a red flag. She's just like, as long as you have some people that you can confide in and like that I've seen you around, that's okay with her, you know? So his birthday rolls around and she's torn on what to do. Like, she doesn't want to do too much. You know, she doesn't want to push him away, but she also wants to celebrate him because if he's never been in a relationship before, she feels like she wants to lay the foundation of him being celebrated on his special day, you know? So she ends up getting him in the car. She blindfolds him. They take a road trip about an hour away, and she takes the blindfold off and he realizes she's rented an Airbnb in his favorite city, and they open the door to this beautiful house and it's just filled with all of his favorite things. Like his favorite movies, like there's all these DVDs, there's, you know, all his favorite food, like just all of his favorite things are inside of this house. So you could tell that she really paid attention to detail and she was very intentional about him enjoying his day, you know? And that's what he wanted. He was just like, my birthday, I just want to have my favorite foods and I want to watch my favorite movies. So she gave him that experience in his favorite city in a beautiful home that they have for a few days, right? And in all of this, you know, they have a moment where she just feels a part of her just like there's another level that they reach or that she reaches internally. And she kind of gets over that wall and that hump of like being reserved about sleeping with him, and they end up sleeping together. And it's not awkward. They feel connected. The things she wants him to do differently, she tells him and he does it. He makes the adjustments, but he's not like upset about her telling him to do things different. You know, he takes it as an opportunity to like satisfy her. You know what I'm saying? And once they get past the first time, it's like they just fall into a rhythm, you know what I mean? And they both just realized that it was really worth the wait, you know what I'm saying? And they're so into each other and they're looking into each other's eyes and just, you know, enjoying the silence between each other, but just like taking in this time that they've spent together and this new level that they've reached in their relationship, you know? And so they say, I love you. And it's just a very close and intimate moment, you know? And so like a month or 2 goes by and Isaac is just in awe of Autumn. He is, you know, they're still spending a lot of time together. They go to her place, they go to his place. And he's like, I want to do something for you. Like, I really just want to tell you thank you for, you know, the way that you just allowed me to just be myself. You know, I'm a late bloomer and it just is what it is. And you didn't judge me. You accept me for who I am. You were honest about, you know, why it took so long for us to sleep together. Just everything. You've laid everything out on the table. And, you know, I feel like that I'm the best version of myself when I'm with you. So he was like, we're going on a trip. So he takes her out of the country and, you know, they get their plane tickets. They make the accommodations. They're going to be there for 5 days. And, you know, Adrian, as the trip is approaching, Adrian is like, yo, I'm going to have a hard time not talking to you for 5 days. You know, like the cell phone service isn't the best, you know, in the country they're going to. So she's like, okay, go have fun. Contact me when you can. Let me know that you're safe. But I will see you when you get back. I want to hear everything. She's like, yes, I'm going to tell you everything. I promise. I got pictures for you, stories. She's like, if y'all get married, if y'all get engaged, like, do not get married. She's like, we're not about to get married. We're not getting married. He's just taking me on a trip. That's it. So, you know, Adrian's excited for her best friend and Autumn is excited too, you know, to have a chance to like go out of the country. It's her first time going out of the country with the person that she's in love with. And, you know, somebody just looking out for her and her feeling like that she felt like she helped Malcolm be the best version of himself. And it feels good to help somebody else, you know, to really be so special and important to somebody, you know. And so she's planning for the trip and Isaac calls, you know, and he calls and is like, hey, you know, something came up at work and I'm not going to be able to fly out tomorrow, but I will come the day after that. And so she's like, okay, no problem at all. He was like, you won't have any problem checking into our place. You're like, you know, your name is on everything. We're flying first class. Like, everything is good. You're good to go. Right. So she takes the flight. She's enjoying it, this solo time, giving her a chance to think and just kind of process where she is in life. So she gets to, she lands safely. She makes it to their hotel. It's a suite. It's beautiful. They got a beach view. It's everything. There's a stock bar. They have this huge tub, like just everything. It's everything she could have wanted and more. So she kind of gets there late in the day. She watches some TV. She curls up on the couch. She's having a drink and she goes to sleep. Next morning, she wakes up. She pulls the blinds back, lets the sun in. She sees the beach, this beautiful, crystal blue water, and she wants to take a dip. She calls the concierge and says like, hey, I want a cabana. No problem. Whatever you need, I will take care of you this entire trip. I'll get the cabana ready for you in 30 minutes. And I got you, And so, she changes into her bathing suit, gets a ride over to the beach. It's not far at all, but she doesn't want to walk. So she gets she gets dropped off at the beach and she sits in the cabana and she has her big floppy hat on and she's just sitting there, she got her a daiquiri and she's like, this is my life. This is my life. I'm glad that I, am experiencing love again and someone just thinks so highly of me to want to give me this kind of experience. Like she's just in such a good place, right? So she's just sitting there, she's been on the beach for about an hour. Isaac should be landing in about 6 or 7 hours. She can't wait for the 3 days that they'll have together. And so she's sitting there and the concierge walks up to her and hands her an envelope. And she's looking up like, what's this? And he has no idea what it is. He hands the envelope off and he leaves. So she opens the envelope and inside of it is a letter. And this is the letter she received. It says, I won't be joining you. Before I married my partner, Aiden, I wanted to know what it was like to be with a woman. He bet that I didn't have he bet that I didn't have the balls to see it through. So I went for it. The day I planned on canceling my dating apps, you came along. I know how much you love me and I'm sorry that we won't have the life I promise you we'd have. You taught me a lot. I'm beyond grateful I got to experience the essence of a woman. I hope one day you can forgive me. P.S. I know money can't fix everything, but this trip is on me and there's a $50,000 check waiting in your mailbox. That should be enough to cover your salary for the rest of the year. Take care of yourself, Autumn. Never change who you are, even when you meet people like me. So she gets a letter from Isaac. Isaac is not joining her. Isaac is not building a life with her. Isaac is not who she thought he was. And so she's like sitting in shock. Like she doesn't even cry. You know what I mean? She just can't process what just happened. Why it happened. Huh? What? I'm sorry, what? And so like she looks at the letter again like, what? Huh? So she, she gets off the beach and gathers her things. She gets back to her hotel and still in shock, still can't believe what happened. And then the emotion takes over. She's sobbing, she's weeping. She's, just giving everything in her, just letting it all go because she's just trying to make sense of what just happened because this is not what it was supposed to be. This man flew me out of the country to tell me that he doesn't even like women and that you're doing some experiment and I'm a part of your experiment. I'm a project. Is that what you're telling me? She picks up the phone. She wants to call her mom, but she just can't get it together. She can't stop crying. She wants to call Adrian. She just can't stop crying. She can't call from her cell phone because she don't have service, but she can call from the, the hotel phone. And she's just like, I don't want them to think that I'm like, that someone's trying to kill me. So she just can't get her words and thoughts. So she just sits there and weeps and cries and is trying to figure out how she's going to get through these next 3 days of with dealing with this. She wants to go home immediately, but she just, drinks and sleeps and eats and sleeps and drinks and eats, for the next 3 days until it's time to go back. And she gets to the airport. She looks a mess. Her eyes are red, puffy, just bags everywhere. She looks a mess, and Adrian pulls up and is expecting to see her and Isaac and is like, where's Isaac? And she's like, he's not here. She gets in the car and she's, Adrian's like, what's up? Like, are you okay? She's like, hello, are you okay? What happened? What's going on? I would love to tell you what happened. I would love to tell you everything that happened, but can we please just go to the liquor store? She's like, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I need vodka, I need Advil, and I just need a fucking moment so that I can tell you what happened. And so Adrian is worried, and she's just like, I mean, there's nothing you can say. Like, I just please, a liquor store, and I promise I will tell you everything that happened. So Adrian has no clue what's going on. Like I said, she was expecting to see Isaac. Her best friend looks a mess. Clearly something happened, and I mean, but it doesn't look good, but she doesn't know what it is. So, you know, now she's about to deliver this news to her best friend and what happened and all this stuff. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I think I'm gonna leave it right there. Cause I want you to use your imagination. You know, what happened? Does she ever see Isaac again? Did she get the $50,000? Does she go to Isaac's house and bust out the windows? Does she does she try to run up on his partner and talk about the relationship that they, like, what happens? What does she do? You know, does Adrian talk her into something? Do they come together with some type of scheme and do something together as best friends? Like, what happens? There's definitely a next though. There is something that happens next, and I'm going to actually share what happens next on Patreon. So for everybody that's on Patreon, you guys will see what happens next with Autumn, exactly what she does next. If you want to join Patreon, the link is below. You know, I got to save some for my people over there. So you can sign up, you can cancel at any time. But like I said, use your imagination. Like, how many stories? I know I've seen a ton of stories where I'm led to a certain point and it could go anywhere after that, right? And I like where it goes. I like where it leads. I like what happens next. So I hope y'all enjoyed the story time, you know, and this is just really unfortunate for Autumn. Just a chain of unfortunate events. So the first love of your life, after you weren't even thinking about love, you meet this man by chance in the store, you fall in love, and it's everything your heart could have desired. He passes away suddenly. And then the second guy who's filling you up with all of these wonderful things and gifts and compliments and patience and being gentle and understanding, he ain't even into women. You a project. Like, I can't imagine people that like that happen. I'm sure it's happened to somebody. I'm sure it has. But y'all know, if y'all know anything about me, I don't like happy endings. I love when people's worlds are turned upside down. And I think that's one of my favorite things about storytelling, is that it doesn't have to be a happy ending. I mean, maybe this is a happy ending, so maybe it's not, but where I stopped at is not a happy ending. So, yeah. So I hope y'all enjoyed the story time. Let me know if you've ever experienced anything like that before, dating somebody on a dating app. I know, dating can be tricky. There's a lot of horror stories, but it's a lot of good stories as well. And, I pray that none of us ever get played like that, ever. Because that is, I couldn't even imagine what I would do after experiencing something like that and being told something like that in another country. And that's a lot. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the story time. If you did, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And I'll meet y'all in the comments. Make the best of the day, y'all. Be good to yourself. Peace.
I be